Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today we are doing some foundation pages. I hopefully have already posted my supplies kit album. That's the first video in the series, and I filmed that in order to start creating. So for the first one that we're gonna do a shaker pocket or a shaker page. Last year, I know probably we all used that Merry and Bright acetate and made it into a shaker because Allie did it. She's always our greatest influence sometimes. And so this one is the 10x8 shaker. Making sure you can see this. Let me see if I have something white or something solid. Something solid real quick. So this one says the Christmas time is here. It's beautiful. It's large. And don't get me wrong, we could simply do it as, and here's just a page protector 6x8, as a vertical one. Could work. But when I put it this way, if I cut just like where the C and the T just start, it only leaves off part of the exclamation. So I feel like I am just gonna cut it where the exclamation mark sort of ends. So it'll be a little bit longer than a page protector, and I'm okay with that. So we are gonna keep it this way, Christmas time of year. I don't know if this will be my title page, but at least it'll be a nice resting spot. Plus, I always, actually, since last year, I do love the large shaker page. So we're going to recreate that with this one for our first page, just to get us in the mood. I showed you this confetti, which is very flat, red, green, and white confetti instead of using sequins. And let's throw in a few stars as well. So you're going to need your acetate, and don't get me wrong, I don't know what came in the 6x8 acetates, but if there's something too in that collection I can't recall, to make a shaker pocket, it's definitely worth it. And then an extra piece of transparency. I had bought a pack of this I believe last year, and throughout the course of the year, I don't know if it was like maybe a 25 sheet pack or so, I have used them all. I think this is the last sheet. So before truly any other shaker pockets I need to pick this up from Amazon. And so, yeah, here is our acetate. And man, I already have to say, like, I haven't played with these much, but they already look beat up. I don't know what it is. Like, the gold is all mixed. At least on mine it is. Yeah, like, they just look... They don't look pristine. That's just a comment on the side. They don't look pristine. So let's cut this down. Let's cut the acetate. I will go off camera and sew it shut, and we'll fill it, and we will get started with some more foundation pages. Let's get started. Okay, so the first cut of anything is always nerve-wracking, right? But go ahead and take that plunge and cut your acetate down, fit into a 6x8. Now, in order to get all the words with just a smidge off on the C and a smidge off on the exclamation, it will exceed the, 7 1/4 by 8 1/4 just by a little bit. So you will need to stitch along the 3 sides, I would say first, okay? And then add your confetti. What I also was saying with this process is that it's important to sew, don't sew like it halfway or anything like that, because you need the pocket in essence, or the page, to kind of bow and bend around however much sequins you are adding. And you can see that I clearly added like half the bag in there. I also added a few of the wood veneer stars from last year, and I'm going through my stash for a little bit more of this finely gold sequence that was from like a Target dollar spot find, in order to have it. And so once I kind of settle it out and it kind of warps a little bit, then it's time to sew the top length so that it doesn't get crazy. Okay, that is the first shaker page made. She is a sparkly Christmas beauty. Like, stop it. And it lays a lot flatter. I mean, granted, I added those little wood veneer stars, but other than those little areas where there's one, it's not that bad. Oh, I could shake this. This is like sensory overload. And this was a nice added bonus. I remember to keep this in mind when I made it. Target dollar spot, but this wasn't from this year. This is probably like 2-3 years old already. There you go. That's something special. All right, let's do another page. So the brads are these star, at least for me, I got these star ones. They are in gold. They're really, really tiny. It's probably hard. Okay, there you go. These star brads are from Michael's. I don't know if they come in silver, but go to Michael's. Of course, the front part of it is ripped off, but, and just ask one of the, employees where the brads are at. If I can remember to link them, or if I can, if they're online, I will try to do so. But you'll need brads. The star ones just add an element of whimsy to our December dailies because the star can be featured throughout our album. But if you just have, regular black ones, or maybe gold that just have like the almost like enamel dot looking, like half domed area, that'll work too. And an awl is also good to pierce the layers between the paper and whatever you're going through, because it'll make that hole in order for this to go through. Because do know that the metal that this is, it's not like a super strong metal. So if you try to use this to pierce the paper, it will most likely bend and stuff, and you'll have to re-straighten these and then push it through. So the awl is just handy to make the hole ahead of time. So if you have the main kit, you can use this one. This is what we're using. Or I also had purchased the 10x8 acetate sheets, and you can use that too. I think for my album, I want to use the acetate sheets. So overall, my idea is to cut the ornaments out. So if you're using the paper, that's fine. I'm going to be cutting out my acetate. I just like the gold foil on it. And they lay perfectly on top of this paper that just has the ornaments. I do believe Allie demonstrated that these, during her Q&A of December Daily, they take Posca paint pen. So my idea is to have these cut out, lay them on top of here, and then use the brad per ornament to have it swivel, to show journaling, or you can put a picture. They measure about 2 inches in diameter. So that is what we're doing. So if you don't have the acetate sheet, like I said, this paper is in the main kit and you can achieve it. So you'll be cutting these out and then putting them just on white, probably white cardstock, and having these swivel. Like I said, but I'm probably going to save this for another layout in my album, so that way there's some cohesiveness. And for me, I definitely want to be able to use at least 2 of these acetates. This will be the base. And the ones I'm looking at, because it overlays perfectly. So since I'm working in the 6x8, I can only use 3 rows of the ornaments. So you're either cutting it here to have these 2 rows left over, or you're going to cut it here and have these 2 rows left over because you're using these. And I do believe I want to use these simply because I'm trying to plan ahead. And knowing that I'm probably, since it'll be 9 ornaments, I could, therefore lend itself to story 9, in which the number I would want to go in the center here. And I do believe either if it's gold or the white ones from the kit will show better on this ornament versus this one if I cut it. So, even if it's, story 17, I just know that the number having the stripe would probably be a little bit busy. But don't get me wrong, you could probably use it in this one if you use these. But like I said, me just kind of future planning, which one can I use? I like both sides. I'm going to cut it down here. So I'm going to slice this first to keep that separate. I can use it probably to attach to a photo or something, or have it as maybe a resting place in my album. But we're going to cut out these 6 individually and go from there. Yeah. So I will start to cut one out and then show you how I attach it there. And then you'll understand that it just repeats itself. Okay. So it's always hard to make that first slice. I know it is, because I am scared to do it too, but I'm like, it's commitment. Let's just do it. So I'm doing the first slice here simply so that I can keep these nicely together. And then this will be where we'll start to cut. Okay, very nice. And then these will be start to cut. So the thing is though too, since I cut those two, and they do, like, don't get me wrong, they kind of line up good here, but you can see like they're just slightly off. And I do believe she probably just like cut and pasted it for this bottom layout, and it effortlessly goes over these. You see that? Compared to even if I shizhed it over here, it's just, it's slightly off. You can see it a little bit, right? It's slightly, like if you make one, it's slightly. So I'm just going to make that slice in the same spot on this one. And who knows, I could probably do this again for another small section, or if I have an extra story. And so in essence, this is going to be our page. And so one thing to think about, now that I did that too, is the holes for the page. So I have a page protector here. So overall, it will cut into it. Even on this side, it would cut into it. So, okay, in order to rectify that, okay, in my experience, here's just a little crafty tip. If you have acetate already, and the reason I asked, because I did just make a shaker card, and so I do actually have acetate from one that I already made. So for instance, this is why I have this one. So I've previously made this jangle shaker pocket. And so this is the acetate from this. So since I already had cut this one, I'm going to use this. But a little crafty tip, keep the packaging to your kids' Barbie dolls. This one's from a Barbie. You know, anything that comes with a plastic covering to the box, because this acetate, is so good. It's so strong. I use this to make those little attachers to add into my album as well. So I have a collection of this, and this just happens to be here now because my daughter got a new Barbie today, and I was like, oh, don't throw away the box. Let me get that acetate off the box. My family knows. So it's just a little tip, because I would just cut a piece out of this to make an extension for this, and that is doable. So with that piece, I will just cut off that little gold part. I am going to have to, not on this one, it's on this piece, make a little bit of an extra length, because I did not keep in mind the holes for the layout. So like if I keep that here, that lines up, that lines up. It just needs to be like the length of holes on this side. That's all that's missing. Okay. Okay, so I simply take the time very easily, very carefully, very slowly cut all these out. It is very repetitive, so I sped it up 20 times the fast amount so that you can see this process. So I lay them on top of each other and put the all piercing through where I want the brad to go, and I make sure that I do it while it's on top of each other. That way they line up perfectly, and I do this for all 9 of them. I keep it in the exact same order that they were printed. That way they lay on top of the correct ornament, and it works out good. This is going to be perfect for adding a little photo behind there with the 2-inch punch, or some journaling with a paint pen or a Sharpie, and it will be a great add-on to a full page photo or something else. Okay, so to rectify the short loss of tab, to fix the whole situation, I did end up stitching with gold thread, a little extender right there, and I already punched the holes, and everything is swivelable, twirlable. And because once I had the brads on there, if you're familiar, they have like their little legs that stick out on both sides. So I made sure to smash them down as far as I could. And then I just put a little dollop of glue and added a little piece of the confetti that was the same from here, just so that whatever's on this side, if it's a photo or a paper, that those don't rub onto it. What I also know about this page, it too can hold photos, so you know when you flip it, but also know that you can cut out the word like wonderful, and it fits. So if you put like a W, you know, obviously spell out W, wonderful fits, and then whatever goes on this side. So it can be a place of rest. Maybe use like metal dies that will fit in there for the letters, or stamp it out if you use perhaps stays on ink. But the word wonderful fits in there. So those are the two that we made on this video. But I just want to show you, since December is slowly approaching and I've really had no time to do more foundation pages, but I have like ideas and at least products that I want to use. I won't be able to give name to everyone that inspired some of these already, but if you've been on Instagram and in the Facebook group, you know that these have been ideas shared already. So I did have the canvas pockets from a couple years ago, and someone put the little ginger people on there and spelt out her family members' names. And so I definitely want to do that. So it'll be like Miguel, me, Valentina, and then I'll put both the dogs together. So I have this ready to go. I want to use this and make some sort of pocket by cutting off, not so much probably here, you know, the last tab, but making a diagonal pocket on a page so that this could be something, because I'm realizing that I have a lot of things that say 2024 that I need to utilize. It's this one. There's part of the acetate. There's this acetate that says 2024 that I have to use somehow. And I also bought the page title from Colorcast Designs because I've had it for the last 2 years. So I don't have my title page done yet, but these are items that I definitely want to use in my album. I want to use these somehow, and I just feel like if I print pictures, it's going to be hard to get the scalloped edge, but if I bookend these and just have like one story accommodate whatever's on this side and then flip them over, and then a story that will accommodate on this side, so it'll take care of 2 days in a row if I use these scalloped edges. I do want to do the sewing technique with this one. That was part of prep day. And it's been shown, so that one will be used. Then I definitely want to use these cards. I have these ready to go. I want to cut these numbers out and put 1, 2, and 3 because I loved this one, so it'll pair with a photo or something. Definitely want to use these cards and some of these things. So these are, like I said, not ideas already hashed out, but just to keep in mind what I want to use. I feel like I'm going to save the tree one and decorate these further, and this will be the opening little number for my 25. This was my lesson in prep day as well as this one, so those are made. And then I definitely wanted to use this one, so I did have to trim down this section and hole punch it so that it fits in here. I didn't want to put pattern paper because maybe it'll be a photo there, but this is ready to go as well. So, you know, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4. This will be a pocket. 5, 6, 7. This is kind of 8. I want to use these, so however that gets done. 9, 10, 11, story around the house. 13, 14, another story. This will be a story, and this will be a story. So, I mean, that's a good plenty of ideas. And then the rest will be photos. And then, of course, I have this one ready to go. And this is just a place of rest as well. So that is so far what I have to go into December daily. Yes, I usually have more done this year. Like if you follow me on Instagram, you kind of know a little bit more, but it was my daughter's birthday weekend. We went to Legoland, for one weekend. And then I also went away for Tricks and Treats weekend for Paige Evan. It was my first retreat in like 4 years. So I was gone that weekend. So like for 2 weeks I was gone, and then, you have to put your house back together, plus still work, plus keep up all the things for her birthday, because even today she went to school with her cupcakes and stuff. So it's just been a lot, and I just have not been able to be in my craft room. But this weekend is Thanksgiving, so I will hopefully have some time to do some more hashing out of this and get this more prepped, like a title page and stuff. So I hope you find a little bit of inspiration. I know this is not a traditional foundation page, but ideas plus those two hopefully give you some jumping off points for your creativity. Please join me for the month of December, because I do plan to give you process videos. Probably there'll be like 12, because it'll be 2 videos, 2 pages per day. So, stories 1 and 2, 3 and 4, etc., etc. So do plan for those. I will I will do it and I will complete it. You have my word. Love everyone so much. Till next time. Bye.